Hey guys, Brockshield here. This time talking to Lord Grayson Shadowbreaker as I'm going to respec my talents to a full AoE talent spec. The reason I'm finally switching these talents is because with the introduction of AQ40 etc. as we move on to next Rammus in phase 5 and 6, there's really no more gear that can help an AoE paladin in the entirety of Classic. So the gear I have now is virtually almost best in slot in every piece except for a few spell power pieces which I may push to receive in future videos. For now, after this respec, I'll be doing other things such as leveling my alts and perhaps trying new dungeons etc. So in terms of the talent specs, it's very similar to what we've done in the past, but there will be some differences in terms of speccing more into Retribution as well for the parry, and giving up some of the greater healing abilities as I'm only really going to be healing Molten Core for a chance at Thunder Fury bindings in GDKP runs. So first let's unlearn our talents. 15 gold is a relatively small price to pay, I guess. And there goes all my abilities. So, the first thing, of course, as we may have seen in previous videos or if you're new to the Paladin class, is you need the Consecration ability. Without Consecration, you can't do the area of effect damage on the ground, so none of this style is even possible. You of course want to choose Intellect over Strength because your mana pool is more important than your base strength, as you are affecting multiple mobs at once instead of straight one-on-one combat. After that, you want to focus on Spiritual Focus, which gives you a chance of not being interrupted up to 70% after all 5 points. Seal of Righteousness again is a one-on-one talent, and thus you don't need that as a AoE style paladin. From here, take Consecration. Now that you have Consecration, the next talent you want to focus on getting is in the Protection tree, which is the Blessing of Sanctuary talent. If you focus on what it says, it protects damage dealt to you from all sources by up to 10 for 5 minutes. And in addition to that, every time you block, which will be quite often as an AoE paladin, your opponents are receiving holy damage in return. So this talent is super broke and will constantly be yielding value for you. One thing as you'll see here as we move through the talent tree is we do not get Blessing of Kings. The reason is because in and of itself, Blessing of Kings is never going to be used by yourself over Blessing of Sanctuary. So if you're actually trying to max AoE style, there's no need to get it. Start with Redoubt, as this will increase your chance of blocking attacks, and that helps you in a lot of ways because not only are you increasing your chance of blocking with whatever shield you have, but if you have a shield such as Force Reactive Disc, which you see I have triple of, every time it blocks, it discharges damage to all enemies in an area of effect. So there's double value based on if you have engineering and specific other gadgets like this, such as Force Reactive Disc and its proc abilities. So 5 points into there. After that, go for 5 points into Toughness. You just want your base armor value to increase, period, because this is just more and more damage reduction over more and more pulls. So another no-brainer choice. Alright, so after that, you're going to want to put 3 points in Shield Specialization. Same exact concept. When you can go ahead and reduce your damage done by 30% absorbed on your shield, this is a constant payout over time, so you should definitely select that option. Following that, the next two you want to take are Guardian's Favor. You don't really want to worry about improved Righteous Fury, Precision, improved Devotion Aura, because none of these talents actually help you in an AoE style exclusively. Remember, I'm not trying to tank higher level dungeons, or I would go for something like improved Righteous Fury and Precision, because that's helping me draw threat as well as hold threat on single target mobs. I'm doing my level best to wipe as many mobs as I can at one time with as much damage protection and retribution as possible. So go with Guardian's Favor because this is increasing your chance of having more Blessing of Protections in the event that you need more than every 5 minutes. In this case, it will reduce the cooldown to 3 minutes. From here, improved Hammer of Justice is more for PvP, and Concentration Aura is more for Holy Paladins looking to provide guilds with greater ability to have this diversity in their higher end raids. And since, again, I'm not interested in pushing any further in terms of AQ or Nax, I would not be selecting this. Instead, I will place all 5 points in Anticipation, because I believe for every point of defense, I think it's a 0.02% chance increase to all of the damage mitigation stats, such as parry, dodge, block, etc. So this is a simple choice as well. From here, Reckoning is unnecessary. It might be good for some quirky builds, but for me, Blessing of Sanctuary is a no-brainer, and at this point, you can go ahead and get out of the protection tree. Following this, the next most useful talent is Divine Favor. The reason is because when you have Divine Favor, it's a guaranteed insta-heal, which returns 100% of your mana back, and you'll use it every single pull. And so that's the big benefit of Divine Favor. Is you may have seen in my previous videos, especially the 1 pulls or the 2 pulls of SM Cath or Armor, whatever. Divine Favor is a heal that tops me off without costing me any mana, and typically it will heal nearly my full health bar. So it's just another one of those Paladin resets where whenever you pop one of your bubbles in Divine Favor, you immediately top yourself off at the cost of no mana. Same thing as when you use cheat codes like Lay on Hands or any other Paladin cheat code, of which there are pretty much a ton. So go with 3 points into Healing Light here, because you'll always be using your Holy Light and Flash of Light spells predominantly. So increasing that is better than any other ability, such as Unyielding Faith, which is for PvP, or Improved Lay on Hands, which is for a more desperate style of AoE pulling that I'm not interested in. I'm interested in a more steady and sustainable style of pulling. So we only need 1 point into here, and that's all we'll be putting, because we'll be putting the other 4 points you'll see in the Retribution tree. From here, Improved Blessing of Wisdom again is for specialty Holy Paladins that are looking to benefit their raids. Since I'm not doing that, I will not be selecting this talent. And Illumination is pretty much required for me to continue in GDKP Holy runs, because every time I get a crit, it refunds my full mana. So if you want to heal in raids, you definitely need Illumination at any level, because that pretty much is the #1 trait for a Holy Paladin. That's what makes us the best single target healers in the game. Just spam Flash of Light downranked and you'll never go out of mana. From here, there it is, Divine Favor. So this is all the abilities that you need in the entire Holy tree and the Protection tree. The rest of it is pretty simple. We'll be going to the Retribution tree, and instead of choosing another support ability like Improved Blessing of Might, you will be choosing Benediction. So Benediction will reduce the mana cost of your seals and judgments by eventually 15%. And this actually really adds up over the course of those closer pulls where mana becomes a problem. Now that I had figured out to crack the code behind the SM Cath pulls, it really isn't so much of a problem for me, but it is really useful, because especially if you want to try higher and higher level dungeons like Blackrock Depths or Zul'Farrak, having Benediction is a useful talent, because it just gives you a longevity to how many times you can judge Seal of Wisdom or Seal of Light, etc., in order to continue the duration of your pulls, basically. So 5 points in there is a great lifesaver. You do not need Improved Judgment pretty much ever, unless you're maybe leveling. It's debatable at that as well. And then Improved Seal of the Crusader is unnecessary as well. These are both single target abilities, PvP abilities pretty much. So all 4 of your remaining points will go into Deflection. So this is the build that I will be using now until Burning Crusade. There's no other build I've thought of or experimented with that can beat this for this style of AoE pulling if you're looking to either enjoy it or emulate it. So again, in order, you need the talents Consecration, Blessing of Sanctuary, Divine Favor. Those are really the 3 you need for the most defensive and reflective output over an AoE style of pull. So with that, I would like to say light be with you all. Take care, and thanks again. Thank you for watching very much. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and take care.